Strike A Chord Podcast. Music chit chat with your hosts Valentina Gikowski and Amla Perillo.
Hey everyone, welcome to Strike A Chord. We have the wonderful Fabian and Liana here from Perolas. Thank you for joining us today.
Welcome.
Yeah, no, thanks for the invite.
It's our pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Producer, practitioner.
Yeah, I guess that's the name. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that a name or your title?
No, I was trying to find something that encompasses everything that I do, because like I guess this 2023 being a musician is not anymore just playing guitar or playing an instrument.
Correct.
It's like
The jack of all trades.
it's like actually a lot. Yeah, you are producing, you are a social media content creator,
That's something
composing,
that- yeah.
recording.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to social media, I get scared. But that's another conversation.
Yeah, and then teaching. But I guess like anything in the world, we have to evolve, and then I guess I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind what it involves being a musician these days. Yeah.
Well, you've evolved in going from guitar to trumpet.
Yeah, and that was actually when just here a couple of years ago. So
Yeah,
it's
Poly,
not-
right? You went to Polytechnic.
Yeah, Melbourne Polytechnic,
I've
and
got
then
a few colleagues that went to Polytechnic.
yeah, no, a lot
I
of
actually went to Polytechnic before you was Polytechnic.
really,
Oh, wow.
and MIT.
In MIT.
Yeah, yes,
That's when I went.
yes.
What did you study there?
I studied jazz and popular music, as I called it.
Yep, nice.
But I had just come back from living in Spain, so
All
I
right.
came back to further my knowledge in jazz and all of that, and had some great lecturers, great teachers. I don't know, you probably know Jack Pantazis.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I know
he.
of him.
I see him there. Yeah, but
Yeah, we had a lot of people coming from a lot of artists from overseas came as well that year.
like workshop.
Like
Type-
workshops.
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think we had like Jeff Beck at one stage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
that
Hectic.
year. We had
Well, that's yeah.
Oh,
we
should have
had a
gone
couple
there.
of that. Yeah, but the year was a really good year.
We
Wow.
actually saw
Yeah.
him in
saw him last
2022
year,
at
before he passed away,
Montreux
yeah.
Jazz
Yeah,
Festival.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
It was
this
epic
a while,
with,
years back.
Yeah.
As NMIT.
Yeah.
How did you find that? How did you find Polytechnic?
Excellent. Cause I study in Brazil, and that was guitar sort of, but way different. Yeah, like now because every teacher has a different approach when it comes to harmony or
Oh, of course.
talking about rhythm, and I feel like the lectures they're awesome. They
Yeah.
really open my concept, and also really sort of like insert the spark again of things, because after many years you start finding yourself a bit just repeating the same things, and I
Yeah,
guess also
stagnant.
yeah, and in different instrument, I don't know, it really expand the way that I'm thinking now.
You know what I liked about Polytechnic and what I still like about
Yeah.
Polytechnic? I've got some friends who lectured there and went there and everything. They try and teach you as much as possible for the real life as a musician out there, as living it in real life, not this thing of coming out of uni and thinking you're going to be some sort of a rock star or something like that. They actually prepare you how it is really out there. You know, they prepare you.
Yeah.
Things that
The practical.
yeah,
Yeah.
practical, and they
Copywriting.
prepare you about things to the point where how to prepare before you're going out to a gig. You know, that's what I found. And I found
Yeah,
very
and then
useful.
because I have one of my favorite actually subject was music business,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, wow,
I
yeah,
ended
that's a
up
subject. That's
They didn't have-
amazing.
they didn't have that when I was.
yeah, no, and then I had such a profound experience talking to Andrew Parisi, which is because he's the booker, and then he's the one that brought back the Crockstone band room back.
yeah, okay.
Okay. So
And
okay.
yeah, he's the one. He was teaching there that year, and then and I don't know, I just connect with him because and then I ended up anyway working at the Crockstone just to I don't know, I have access just to.
Of course.
I saw a lot of bands.
Yeah, and have a bit of exposure. Expose yourself to different things. Croxton, I remember the Croxton Mini years ago.
Yeah.
It was
No, it was different.
It was an experience every time you went to the Croxton. Not only music, but everything else that happens in life. So,
but he was the one that, I don't know, for example, I have no idea. Say, are you with APRA? Are you like collecting your royalties? And then, I mean, we both get paid. And then you know all the little things
that they all count.
And still a lot of people
important.
that they don't know, you know. Like
I've been telling friends, because I didn't know, and Alejandro told me about APRA.
Reports, like performance reports.
You don't know about APRA?
Now I do. Now I'm getting royalties, like you said.
Yeah.
It's
Through
not
live
the stuff. You don't learn these things that necessarily.
It's great, like submitting a performance report after every gig.
Yeah.
You have to do it. Yeah.
You don't get much, but you get something.
But it's still like it's kind of like a passive income, I guess.
Yeah,
if you're playing a lot.
If you're playing a lot, you get
definitely.
Yeah.
Liana, you're a harpist extraordinaire.
Yeah, I like to think myself kind of in that way.
Such a unique instrument. I love the harp, by the way. It's when you hear it and you think, my God, it sounds so simplistic, but when you see it being played, it's not quite. So, and there's not a lot of harp players here in Melbourne.
You're right.
How do you survive?
How do I survive? Well, I guess it's it's beautiful in that the instrument itself, because it's like a rarity and there's not many. I mean, it's growing. It's a growing field, and I'm seeing the more harpists that are putting themselves out there and playing live in Melbourne, the more it inspires others to think, oh, it's possible to learn and, find a teacher. But yeah, it's also hard because I play, I'm classically trained. I've been learning classical music for 10 years now. But to find what I love, which is like more contemporary jazz influenced harp playing, there's a beautiful teacher who I really honour, Mary Damani, who I've had a bit to do with over the years. And she was in like a band called The Lovers in the 90s, and they were like, one of the first Australian jazz bands. Beautiful harpist, vocalist, and has done incredible like different projects over the years and continues to. There's not, like, apart from her as a person, there's not many educational programs, workshops, anything in Australia really. I've had to outsource that overseas. So I've done lots of I've done like a jazz harp 10-day intensive in Brazil in 2018.
Oh, nice.
Last year we went to the World Harp Congress, Fabian and I, and we did a mini scoping tour of Europe of like what European harpists are doing.
How did you find it? Because Europe has quite a big following for harp players.
There's a much denser concentration, and especially of people doing more electronic stuff, more contemporary stuff.
That's right. I was
in
going to ask you about
Netherlands
that too. Harp has gone into different genres, and now there are electric harps and everything like that sort of blend in with all of that. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that electronic move?
I kind of
because you're classically trained, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of I like really honor the tradition of like learning a good technique, because it is a difficult instrument to master if you really want to learn it properly and take it, into all genres. I think you need that base. But to move it from that, it's quite traditional and quite elitist as well.
Yep.
Like to find to buy a harp is pretty ridiculous to start off with. Just like how they've created more electronic and more say smaller instruments, more portable.
Yep.
It's really diversified the instrument over the years.
But they're more user friendly, I suppose.
User friendly,
one aspect.
Yeah, exactly. But in jazz, like the harp's been used, which people think it's a novelty. Oh, it's just been used in jazz music the last decade or whatever, but it's been around for like actually 100 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Back in the 1920s, 1930s, people were incorporating it in jazz.
Well, the first time I heard harp was in South American music, and when I was a kid, in the Paraguayan, Los Paraguayos and all of them. My dad used to listen to them constantly, and I grew up listening to that. So, and you can hear the harp just doing things that no other instrument can do.
Yeah.
You got your guitars and everything like that kind of thing, but once that harp comes in, you think, gee, it takes it to another level, and it blends in with all the other instruments, especially the vocals. Like if someone wants to sing and have harp behind, I think it just opens it up and spreads it, So
it opens it up. It's complementary to
and you can it's funny. You can have it as a sort of like a stringed instrument, but you can also have it like a piano sort of instrument as well. Like it's
it's harmonic.
It's harmonic. Yeah, you can have those big chords. You know, with guitar you can't really do left and right chords.
We spread it across
with the harp.
Bass,
treble. Exactly. You got the bass
got
clef
a
and
full
treble
range
clef.
there.
Staccato, pizzicato.
And you got two clefs.
You got two clefs, bass. And so actually, I got a bass player who chatted to me yesterday. How do I compose for harp, Liana? He asked, and I said it's pretty much like writing for piano. So for all those out there who don't really know how to write for harp, it's left, right hand, bass, treble, and then there's a few changes when in Paraguayan harp, for example, because the harp is diatonic in that you've only got access to like a scale at a time.
Yep.
You need to either use your feet or levers to
the
change the semitones.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, say, a C minor chord, which has an E flat, if you want to make it a major, you have to move that E flat to a natural. So you're thinking constantly of what accidentals do I need to use to navigate.
That was my next question about the levers. I always found that so fascinating. Just watching you. I've seen you both perform a few times, and how quickly and effortlessly it's seamless. Like you've gotten it to that point where it's become, I guess, a second nature for you.
And it's a part of. It's kind of like, I guess, in any instrument, there's those things that you kind of consider. It's in that you have to encompass to play like fluently, and that's, we're not just using our hands. There's a lot going on with the footwork, lever changes, so.
And up here as well.
yeah.
Now, you guys have done a few projects that I've seen, and
so we've been
and with Karina as well.
Karina, we're in Karina Lehman Trio.
It sounds really good.
It's great. Karina's such a, she also talking about evolving. She's someone who's also,
she's loving her loops.
The loops, and then she comes always Fab, how can I don't know, electronics, and then work it out. So
which you add in, which is really, it's a really cool vibe. It's very different, like you said. It's evolving.
But the whole electronics also it takes time, especially if we. I mean, my generation, maybe we have, I don't know, a few guitar pedals and that's it, But now these machines, they actually, you have to study them, Like,
you have to. I got one of those machines, just doing things with Amla. I got one of those machines. I'm going to call it a machine. When I opened it up, a friend of mine gave it to me to borrow. I opened it up and I closed it again. I actually opened it up, I plugged it in, all these lights come up.
That's it.
And I turned it off and closed it again. I had to get, I had to overcome my fear of, because playing just, what I play, flamenco and stuff, it's complicated enough to add something into the mix. It's like, it could be really good, but you have to know it really good inside out for you to be able to have confidence to play it live.
Because things, especially in machines, they go wrong, and then it's sort of, it's kind of like, well, the whole thing is stopped.
It's happened before at a few of our shows.
It happened, but now, I mean, I spend a lot of time, and then I guess I have the patience, I guess, the dedication.
I was going to say, if anyone's got the patience to learn something new and to tackle it, it's Fab. He's like, it's ridiculous.
But I remember
trumpet.
It happened the same,
Even learning the trumpet.
The trumpet, gosh, like I just find that so crazy. It's just so different to the guitar, and you went.
But if you've got a passion for something, you will overcome those.
Oh
obstacles,
true,
right?
it's true.
Especially if you're already playing a musical instrument, it makes it easy.
I know. We all know.
So I think having that
drive,
and the willingness to change your approach, I suppose, like the technique and everything like that, because jumping from one instrument to another can be challenging. Right? So if you got that drive to overcome some of those challenges and accept the changes of your technique, and even playing different styles of guitars can sometimes be a challenge. Right?
Of course.
So that if you can overcome that, and you just think of where you're going to be, you're already there playing it, I think you'll overcome it quite quickly.
And I guess different instruments. I mean, I remember studying in Brazil because I guess we all know Hermeto Pascoal. So he say in order to play with him, you have to play at least one instrument from each family of instruments.
Okay. Yeah.
So harmony, rhythm, and then some sort of woodwind or brass.
That's because
that's a requirement to play with
Wow.
him in the band.
So that's
cool.
a very wise thing because you get to you get to know what everyone else is playing. Even if you're playing one instrument, you know exactly how it's going to pan out before it pans out, sort of a thing.
Yeah. And then I was always, I don't know, I say, wow, that would be, but I was always thinking that maybe in the next life, I mean, I can't do it. And then the trumpet, someone gave me the trumpet actually,
That was a beautiful story actually. Fabian and I were attending a beautiful yoga studio in Northcote at the time. It was called Uniting Awareness with an amazing person, Chana Dasanayanka, running it.
Yeah.
And I know that like in his exchanges with Fabian, that he could see a lot of potential in Fab as a musician, and he just gave you the trumpet one day. He wasn't using it. He was kind of clearing out his studio space as a yoga teacher, and he had a trumpet there, and Fabian just took it by the reins to like say,
because after the yoga,
gift, you know?
The sax.
Yeah.
Someone gave me a sax for about 2 weeks. I go, I need it back in 2 weeks. I go, all right, give me 2 weeks. And I picked it up and played it.
Yeah.
It was like, you got a passion for something. You like the sound. You like what it's going to produce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There aren't any obstacles. Or the obstacles are very minimal, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, trumpet, it's such a...
Because it's also a
unforgiving
mentality.
instrument,
But
I mean, and every trumpet player in every level, they will tell you the same. They say,
And every genre, every person that plays a genre plays it different. Like if you listen to Mexican music, when they play the trumpet, when they hit the pitch, it's on. It's right there.
Yeah.
From start to end, there's no sort of jazz sort of trickle. It's right.
It's very straight.
Bang. It's right there. But when they do it, and it's very confident, very powerful. It's on pitch. It's on rhythm. It's there. When you listen to the Balkan style, they've got these trills that not everyone can get. Right? So when you listen to jazz, you got these free jazz sort of trumpet players that are, it's a bit more. I think you have to be in that frame of mind to actually sort of like accept what they're doing,
Yeah.
But the trumpet is so versatile that people think, it's just a trumpet. It's not just a trumpet. It depends on what style of trumpet. So it depends on what you're going to take to learn. Like if you're learning, whatever trumpet you're going to learn, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But then the technique and the genre that you're going to learn, that's an added layer.
Yeah, I guess it's in that sense it's the same like the harp, because it's not until you see, because it's hard to find. It's not that you see every day a trumpet player and then they have a great technique. It takes years. So then it's the same when the harp. Because I remember when we saw Eugene playing, and then you said I had no idea that the trumpet can do that.
Can do those
but he's like
tones and
he's next level. So
qualities.
he not even in the kind of dexterity, just in all the sounds that one instrument can produce. It's almost like he's like he has a multi effects, just in the way how he
he's got a machine in his mouth.
Yeah, like he want to make it more growly and then more here, more breath, more punchy, and all articulation, and that's.
And I guess the more seasoned the musician, the more you can hear them really, using the instrument and its possibilities.
And
but in saying that, in the seasoned musician, and I'm gonna
talk to that
a little bit.
Yeah.
And you were saying, you need to play it for a very long time and stuff like that. Amla picked up the violin. 6 months later, she was doing gigs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but I wasn't good.
No.
I mean, we failed to mention that part.
No, look, you were out there playing gigs. You must be good at some point, right? So some people say, to play violin, you have to start from a young age, from 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, there's that. That's a misconception too, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's. I feel like it's for every instrument. If you have, I feel like anyone can play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you put your mind
to have the creativity and
Yeah,
just the will.
Exactly.
And no expectations in a way. Like I started with expectations and didn't meet those expectations, and I went, I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm sure it was the same. And then you can build. I was the same because
I started when I was 30, playing trumpet, and then I went straight to Melbourne Poly, and then there were all the trumpet players that they were already carrying the whole thing, it's an instrument, and then they were in big bands. So I feel like I have to detach myself from that.
Right.
Expectation also and anxiety of like, oh, I have to be this, you know.
Yeah.
Because that also then it was translated to when we were playing. Well, what do I really want to say with the instrument?
Yeah.
It's
So
about me
so
just
important.
showing
Freedom.
off,
You know.
or it's about me
Telling
fitting
a
in
story.
into the story that I'm already carrying it. you know.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
actually, I mean, we did this beautiful gig yesterday, and then still, you know, like every time we say, wow, I'm kind of all right. I'm detached from the, because it's the ego.
Gotta
Yeah.
let go.
Oh, it's the
each time
ego.
as
It's not
well.
about
That
oh,
ego.
you're doing a like incredible solo, which is great, I guess. But it's more about
Sometimes
you have a
the more
story.
you know.
You have a sound, and it's your
Yeah.
sound.
But I think that you shouldn't detach from the ego altogether, because the ego, especially playing trumpet.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
you
the
need,
ego
you need a big ego.
needs to kick you in a little bit, just a little bit,
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
not overdo it, not become an egotistical musician out at the front, and not worrying about everyone at the front or any of your band members, but
Yeah.
that little thing where it's going to give you that little push, that little confidence, saying, all right, look, you know, I'm holding this instrument.
Yep.
Let's see what I can do with it. you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, of course, yeah.
Totally.
But I guess because like we were opening for this band. It's a trio from Sydney, and then they're incredible.
They're called Breaky Boy.
And then and you're talking to them, and it's sort of like it's just like, I don't know. It's like being on a party with your friends. It's like I said, these are the most insane musicians, and then
And they're just
after-
so like just
Grounded.
beautifully chilled human beings.
and then even
But
before
on
and after.
stage,
They're monsters.
Different,
Like-
they're
It's like-
different species.
Yeah, but I was trying to just
Yeah.
like I mean, I always trying to kind of like see, you know, what's a vibe before and then after, you know, like who are these people and how they can produce that kind of magic.
Yeah.
And
But it goes to show that
yeah.
you don't know what's up here. It's like when you go and produce
Yeah.
and you record things, only you know what's up here, right?
yeah,
Until you get it out there, right? You're your normal person. You think you're your normal person, right?
yeah.
And when you're recording it, and that's a different beast altogether. When you get on stage, it's a different mindset.
Something else.
It's
Isn't
something
it?
Yeah.
else.
Yeah,
Something
something else.
can
Yeah,
come out of
straight
you,
away.
especially when you've got other people witnessing you.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
gives you permission to really go places that maybe you can't go. when you
Exactly.
don't have
Gives you permission. I love
that.
that.
That collective energy that
Yeah, it is.
well,
It's
it's
an
an
exchange,
energy
isn't it?
exchange. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
well, we were
is.
just talking about
It's
that
a
this morning.
practice in a
Yeah,
way too.
about the
Mm.
exactly what you said, like the how reciprocate. Yeah, because sometimes how do you do that live? I have no idea. It was
Just happens.
it
Yeah.
just happened on the
Yeah.
energy. I don't know.
Yeah. I think sometimes as well when you're on stage, there's a lot of things going in your head, and we've talked about this many
Yes.
times, you know, and all the adrenaline and all the anxiety, and sometimes if you're doing a big gig and you're doing your own gig, you're headlining or whatever, that can get to you sometimes. And I think the more you let it get to you, and the more you let it overtake what you're doing, that's when you're going to start not enjoying your time on stage. So you need
Totally.
to really enjoy your time
Yeah,
on stage.
yeah, and that was
For me, it's a lot
Yeah.
about mental clarity. Fabian and I actually did like a gravity flotation tank
Yeah.
yesterday morning
Ooh.
before doing
Nice.
the gig, and
Oh,
I
great.
noticed I'm like just awareness of like I have
Yeah.
like two little people in my brain before going on stage. You know, one's saying like, "Oh, you're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna mess up. Oh, that sounded shit," and then one's going like, "You've got this. You know, it's okay. Like, own the stage. You know, like it's like battle that is
Yeah.
internal."
Only two
Yeah.
people.
Only two. Maybe there's more
I
characters.
think
A
I have
choir.
about 5.
I had about 16. I fired 15 of them.
good.
I fired
Fire.
15 of them. I just couldn't help. If I need it, I can outsource it. But
Yeah.
you need
Totally.
to get rid of all those things, and you have to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
clear
you're right.
about-
That self-awareness, like even just
Yeah.
knowing that
Yeah.
there's the two voices
Yeah.
there, like
Yeah.
a lot of us
It's like
don't
a-
realize, and
Yeah.
and then the next thing you're like, oh, what
just
did I do
happened?
there? It just happened. Oh,
Yeah.
whoops, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what else can actually drive them away if you're playing with people on the stage. If you're enjoying the energy, all those voices they vanish.
Quiet.
Yeah,
They
Go.
vanish.
Yeah.
I find that a bit hard when I'm doing a solo piece in
Yes.
a concert. So
Yes.
for me, I need to meditate beforehand.
Yeah.
I need to find a quiet place and meditate and just get rid of those
the
voices in
noise.
my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you go out there, you just, and this is what I've started to do. I've got my set list, but I've also got another thing with some phrases and some
Yeah.
sayings to myself. Like
Oh,
to
that's
be in the
affirmation.
moment.
Alright, that's a good
Great
idea.
tip.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes,
thing
the
we
last
had.
gig, yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
don't forget that you're playing for them.
Yes.
Enjoy the
Yeah.
moment. Don't rush things.
Ah.
Breathe.
Wow.
Be in the moment and enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy. It's the
Because we
biggest
forget
one.
about that when we get on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah, of course. That's
we
a
forget
good
about
idea.
it. We go there
We
and we
do.
just want to go in there and,
Yeah.
and then get off the stage and we don't know which exit to take. It's like,
Yeah.
So how my name's
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah. Thank you for coming. And then off the
Conditions
stage.
apply.
Yeah.
Buy my t-shirt.
Buy my album, you know. But yeah, that's one thing that even after all these years, you know, you develop as a musician and as a person. But these things you forget about, and you need to remind yourself. So what better way just to have it right in front of your planted in front
Absolutely,
of you.
these affirmations.
Yeah.
That's
That's good.
Really
Listen,
great.
the affirmations right there.
Yeah.
For me, last time it helped a great deal, and we had a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was great, but also we realised it's nice to get to the venue earlier so we can set up, so we're not like getting there an hour and going.
Yeah, of course.
Well, we had to do our own setup, our own sound, everything,
Yeah.
right? And I was buggered before we started.
Takes it out of you, doesn't it?
But an hour beforehand gives you that time to chill, go and find a quiet place if you can, just regroup. And then I came on stage like I was refreshed. Like,
Nice.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything, you know, is
It's great.
everything went as good as possibly can be.
Yeah. So just
that's
that
what you
time
want.
before as well. is a
Yeah,
big
the
one.
time before.
Yeah.
And that's very important.
Yeah.
Especially getting to a gig late is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah. Rushed.
No,
and-
anything. Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
You need those rituals, I guess, daily.
Yeah,
I've
every
been
day.
listening,
Who,
I've
yeah.
been listening to this album. He's this trumpet player that's gonna come, and then he has this album called Rituals.
Mm.
Oh
And
yeah.
every song starts with something. And then one of them says it's a conversation between him and someone else, and they say, man, you know, when you have those really good days, you need to stop at the end of the day and then ask yourself, what made this day be so great? What did I do different from the previous day?
Yeah. Yep.
And then you need to repeat that.
Yeah.
And
So
then
true.
and it's kind of like, all right, so maybe, this helps. Well, I want to, because I mean, why not? You know, every day should be awesome.
Of course. Well,
But
that's very important, Fabian. And,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you why.
Mm.
Because it keeps the mind here, and it reminds you that you're here. Like
Yeah.
even if I'm here
Today's
recording,
a new day.
you know, I'm here. I'm actually recording something. I'm here doing something that I want to do, or it's creative,
yeah.
you know, or something that probably you won't get the opportunity to do tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So enjoy it now. If you can emulate it tomorrow, hey, even better.
Right.
But that is so important. Like we're here now, we're having this conversation. How good is that?
For
Yeah,
sure.
You know, we're talking about things that we love. We're here, we're
Yeah.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
You want it to, you want it to at least be positive on everyone and rub off on everyone. And that is part of what we do as musicians too when we're playing for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
And even like after,
Yeah.
for me, it's super important just to talk to people after.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so important.
For
do that
me,
more.
it's still part of the gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Before and after, but
yeah.
even after, because I really wanna, I wanna kind of, not even for feedback, just to, sometimes there's people
Engage.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there and I
Connect.
say, this person comes to every gig.
Mm.
Yeah,
Are you just gonna
acknowledge them.
pass to them? So
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah.
No, I wanna. What's your story? I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
only so much, so I need some of that also for
That's going to feed you as
for
well.
us just to
Yeah,
keep doing
true.
this. 'Cause
Yeah.
then, I understand. There is
Yeah.
people maybe who see it
Connect.
from this angle,
Mm.
Yeah. Sometimes, I used to be that person from a show. I'd be at the back so I can regroup. But I really shouldn't be doing that, really, because sometimes after a show you don't feel the most happy because you're not have been
Depends
happy
on
with yourself,
what's
Yeah,
happened,
yeah.
performance or
hasn't it?
whatever. Yeah. But I'm doing away with all of that. I should be happy with every performance, and I'm grateful that I'm up on stage. Right?
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. Go and speak to the people. That is very important.
Yeah.
For me,
People want to know about you.
Yeah,
They want to know how, not because they see you. And some people are introverted, they're shy. So if you go up to them, they'll start talking. And,
And the majority of the time, they don't even realize you've made a mistake because it's like mostly
No.
your own
No.
music, it's all like sometimes these self-defeating thoughts that
it's
are
those
our own.
people in
but
your head.
and it can
the 15
isolate
that are
us,
fired.
you know.
Yeah.
But you can't deny, sometimes you like I've left at many gigs like feeling like absolutely destroyed because of maybe how the sound was or what's happened.
Yeah.
And like I don't deny that that's happened, but it's more like in those moments what was going on, how did I feel isolated, and then how did I reconnect? And
that's so important that you're aware of that though.
Yeah.
You're aware, and you need to do something about it, right? So you're either going to run yourself to the ground.
Yes, you can either do that. You can really dig a hole for yourself
Yeah,
if you want to,
away.
but
Yeah.
if you're conscious, you can say, okay, I guess accept what's happened and then go and reconnect. And often people don't even, they love what you do
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah.
Or,
Or they
So
will just
true.
cheer up.
Yeah.
They will say, look,
Yeah.
maybe I've seen other gigs that was, maybe there was a bit of, with the sound, but I can still, it's still you on the stage. So
Yeah, they
so
can
that's
see the
sort of-
essence there.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't think that, I guess we are really harsh
on
musicians.
ourselves. aren't we?
Yeah.
Or any
We
art.
are.
Yeah, we.
But you're spot on there. We're really hard on ourselves, but it helps with playing with your band members that you get along with and you have
Yeah.
good energy with.
yeah.
If you're playing with people that haven't got that or they're negative in some way, it's gonna come out on stage. It's gonna come out to the people.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's a group thing. isn't it?
Always when I perform, the main thing for me is not how I'm gonna play, not how my band's gonna play, is how they're gonna give out, right? And how the people are gonna portray it. If they've got positive energy and they're that energy is going to the people feed off that.
They feel it, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You're gonna be exhausted, but you're gonna feel really good because they like what they're listening to, what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know?
And I heard a reel of I can't remember who it was, but he said, if you don't give yourself chills, no one else in the room is going to feel that,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
often and if you can do that for yourself, it will be a flow-on effect to your band members. It will be
Definitely.
to the audience and,
Definitely.
it can lift the energy.
Exactly.
But it's an
Especially
interesting
if,
thing.
Especially if you're leading either a song or you're leading the band or whatever. If you're looked on at sort of like the person that if you're the act and you've got people that have come and joined you,
Yes.
the band, and
You're the kind of,
they're gonna look at you. The people in the band are gonna look at you and see what energy you're giving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to be positive on stage. You need to
Yeah.
be mistakes are gonna be done and everything like that, and people are gonna be sort of like a bit apprehensive on doing some things, some different things
New
on stage
songs or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, you gotta have that positive energy.
You were talking about this about like a pep talk before getting on stage with a group you were working with.
Joshua did it I did this gig with the cumbia band, which is all about energy, yeah. And then
Getting people
it's
dancing.
It's all about energy.
Yes.
And then I never liked cumbia. I grew up in Chile. We're massive in cumbia.
Yeah.
I
Probably heard
never
a
was
lot of it.
interested. Yeah, probably heard it. And
Bit
then
over
and Joshua has such a great energy. And then he said, give it a go, because they need a trumpet player. And then I said, all right, fill in, whatever. And then I start transcribing, and then anyway, start rehearsing with the guys. I said, wow, this is so much energy, good energy. And then somehow it was funny because I say the cumbia actually it is in my DNA, because I grew up with
You
it.
fell in love with it again.
No, but it's almost
You
like
found
because
the
I'm
cumbia.
playing, and then I know how to do this. It's more. I don't know if you're playing Balkan music or if you're Mexican and you've been into mariachi and all that, and then you grab the trumpet. Oh,
It
when you
just
say-
comes out of you.
it comes
Yeah.
out and it's it's almost like it's scary. It's like I'm actually doing
You're
the
possessed by the cumbia.
articulations and
Yeah.
the lectures in the way that
How in the hell am I doing this?
it's like with the whole, pam, pam. It's wow,
You
all right.
were
Like,
amazing.
who
You
am
see
I?
how much the energy
And that was
it
so
makes a difference.
Yeah, it's energy, and that you was talking, because he kind of like grabbed the band before, and then I say, guys, we have this. The last rehearsal was awesome. Let's go there, have fun, interact with the audience, smile. We're here to have fun. And then
I tried to
then
do
it's a
that
bit-
last
yeah.
concert.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a big
I
show.
tried.
I tried.
Try. I don't know if it came across.
Practice, isn't it?
But I guess again, come back to those rituals. It made a
Yeah.
difference. But
Yeah.
the energy on the stage was so
it was
good.
electric.
Everyone dancing.
And
amazing.
That's very
Yeah.
important as a
Yeah.
musician, and not only as a musician, as a person watching a band.
Yeah.
Like I go and watch bands and stuff like that, and the first thing I feel is their energy. What sort of energy? I don't look at what they're playing and how they're playing it. What sort of vibe are they throwing out?
Yeah.
You know? Because there's a different venues have different vibes, different bands have different vibes in different venues, right? If you're going to go in a venue where it's a live venue and people are drinking at the bar, you got to give out a different vibe.
Absolutely.
If you're playing in a concert style venue, it's a different vibe. If you're playing, you know, if you're playing in a outdoor venue, it's a different vibe.
Different
altogether.
again. Yeah.
You know?
And we all have seen even, I don't know, like well-renowned musicians, and then you go there, so there was
Feel it.
nothing there.
Yeah, you
You
didn't
can
feel
see
the
that
energy.
the musician that tired.
Music,
You're
it's-
so right,
Yeah.
and I'm going to mention a very
Mm.
a top guitarist when I went and saw him,
Yeah.
Santana.
All right.
I wasn't impressed the last time I saw him,
Yeah.
like many years ago.
Wow.
Like he was good. Don't get me wrong, he was good, but I don't know. There was like everyone around him was smashing it. It was like everyone around the whole
himself,
band was
yeah.
fantastic. He was, I don't know whether it was his coming of age or whatever, you know, but and the time before that, apparently he was worse because my friend went and then he had his back turned to the audience the whole time, and that wasn't good. But
No.
years and years and years
Yeah.
ago,
Yeah.
right?
That sounds like ego perhaps was at play there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
No,
maybe he was
you're
bored.
Can
But
take
you're-
over, yeah.
But
Yeah.
you want to go and see some.
Oh,
Santana,
yeah, you want
right?
to see
And
him
you
in
think,
his, yeah.
And then, you know, I went and saw Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, and that was electrifying,
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
you know? And even though they were getting of age, but they played like they were playing in the 70s. And that's the energy. It's not about whether I can
Yeah, good
do these articulations or these.
Yeah, you already know. I mean, that's great. I mean,
Yeah,
so
of course.
It's kind of that's already the
Yeah, the
tick box is
expectation.
already So
Yeah.
I guess you want to be overly impressed. Yeah, I mean, we saw a few shows last year that they were. Yeah.
Something that's come to mind, which is really random, is I was at like Doncaster Shopping Centre and
You saw there.
Why
and
not?
they have a piano there, and
Yeah.
this guy, like who works at a retail store, just came down in his break and started like ripping incredible classical kind of music on the piano. And I stood there and I cried and I
Wow.
like was like so moved by a guy that without ego, without like needing an audience or a paid gig, was just like pouring himself onto the piano. And
Did
it
he
was
have
like
his phone there
essence.
recording?
No.
Ah.
That's good.
He didn't even
Because
have an
I was
Instagram,
like,
and I'm like, "Are you
Wow.
not discovered? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing!"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and sometimes, like, yeah, people just it is. I think before music, there's like the person
Yeah.
and their energy, and their life story, and if they can bring that,
But it
Purity.
triggers something with you, right? So
absolutely,
music
yeah.
triggers emotion
Yeah,
and nostalgia.
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's like food. I always say food and music are very similar because when you smell something or you eat something, it triggers an emotion. Or if you haven't eaten something since you were a kid,
Yes,
you're eating and you think,
Yeah, yeah,
oh
of course.
man, it brings you back.
those kind of
Yeah.
sensory like
it
memories.
brings back either good memories or even can bring bad memories back as well.
Absolutely, it's,
but
it's powerful in
It's
that
powerful.
way. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's very,
Yeah.
I
very
guess
powerful.
it should sort of provoke something, and I guess it's kind of another topic, but this comes to be kind of like willing just to genres, I guess.
Mm.
Because I guess we say, oh, well, music is to be kind of happy and then make you feel great, and then also in harmony, maybe it should be all sort of like
And then
what
you
do you
listen
call
to death
friendly.
And then you listen to death metal where it's not supposed to be happy.
Yeah,
You know?
but
Yeah,
even
it's
like
But it's an emotion, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I will listen to this interview and then the composer was saying, "Well, music is supposed to sort of also make you feel in a particular way, you
Yeah.
know, because it's sort of like a roller coaster of emotions, you know,
Mm.
Yeah.
and that can be bad, or it can be maybe this is I don't know, maybe I'm feeling a bit sick, you know,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
and I feel like you should allow in the same way that we allow maybe testing different foods, you know.
Yeah.
Because like I guess because what we do with Perolas is kind of like, I would say it's not pop.
It's not everyone's
There is
taste.
an-
It's a
It's
blend
like-
of genres. You couldn't even. I wouldn't be able to
Pinpoint.
put
Yeah.
a name because
No.
it's such a mix, and that's what I love about Perolas. And every time I hear it sounds different. There's some new
Yeah.
element in there.
Yeah.
But then that's part of the experience. What you're saying, right? With
Yeah,
the-
and it
Yeah.
comes to writing as well. So
Mm.
be in the mindset that what do you really want to write? You know, you're trying to maybe, I don't know, be a friendly corporation because certain people's gonna like it, or you really want to try to, I don't know, I feel in this way, or this is about this concept, and then this is what actually.
yeah.
Mm.
good thing that you brought up on the thing of recording and creating and composing. I think if there are, I think, ways of getting your creativity out there. One is the outcome based, right? Whether you're trying to record something that sounds like this, whether you're paid for it as a producer or not, or whatever, and you're trying to, it's an outcome based sort of way of doing it. That can be quite hard. Then you've got the journey, your recording. However it comes out, let's just see what we can do. Let's push these buttons and push these boundaries, right? What in your experience, that journey, what percentage would you say that what you record has come out the other end as an outcome? Is that every time you go in to record, you record something and think, oh yeah, I can use this? Or is it you've gone into record today, tomorrow, next week, the following month, and you're recording and things not coming up the way it is? Do you accept it, or do you keep on delving onto that thing because it can be a never-ending loop?
Yeah, that's a good one. No, I mean that's what we did the last recording. We went. I say, look, we're gonna go for the whole weekend to Echidna Studios, and we need to let it be. Just whatever we're gonna play, and that's it. I don't want to go home and do tweaks.
Yeah.
Because because also the editing when you're on the other side is
mixing and mastering.
Yeah. But even the editing, I don't like this solo. I don't like this part. I say I don't want to be sitting on the computer. Whatever it was that day, that's it.
Yeah.
And it was so in those days that came out something that we can't sort of replicate when we are in the house in our home studio. And I guess it's different. I mean, I love both process. Like the live thing is always has an energy.
Because we've experimented with live in a room recording as opposed to multi-tracking.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a different sort of magic.
It is.
It's way different.
It's just it is different.
And that is something that there's again you either have no expectations or the expectations are quite low when you're in that setting where you're recording live and recording now.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're multi-tracking, the expectations are quite high because you're multi-tracking. Everything has to be perfect.
Yeah, there's a bit more of that. Yeah, for sure.
It's a bit of a thing. It plays on with your head, but
I like both process. I guess the multi-trackings, I like it because of the kind of arranging maybe aspect. When I have a particularly
same.
We are kind of like a particularly like a vocal arrangement or layers.
Yeah.
I love kind of like harmony.
And often it's hard to like envisage the final. Like we don't often think of this is exactly what we want it to sound like. It does take its own shape often.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that song's different now.
Yeah.
But like,
and sometimes
it's okay.
You can exceed your expectation.
And
that's
the magic,
that sounds,
isn't it?
When you get there and you think, oh, geez, I was expecting this, but this is coming out actually pretty good. It's actually beyond what I thought.
Or just different, maybe.
Yeah.
I have no idea that maybe I was really maybe into it need to maybe sound in this kind of like flavor, and then it went to it sounds like mariachi. I don't know.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
When I was recording my album, I'm like, come in and we'll record some flute. I don't know what we record, but we'll record some flute.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we recorded the first flute, you think, oh yeah, it sounds good. And I thought maybe if we layer this, or maybe if we put thirds here, or if we do this, and see how it all goes. And if it's not good, we won't use it. Sounds pretty good. What about if we try the violin? Okay, we'll try the violin as well. It come out sounding like a symphony orchestra. And that was way beyond my expectation.
Yeah.
And these are those laying, the beauty of multi-tracking, right? And
so much fun.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can really just go with it and you don't actually know what the end result is going to be, but then it's just really
but
cool.
even like
a painting.
Yeah, it's a painting.
It like reveals itself.
Yeah, for us it's also sound designing, because then certain section, that's more like for the producing. Certain section you can really, it's not about maybe we need to instruments. Sometimes it's just all in the same, even if it's unison, but in different textures. So maybe you can do one line is the scene that is actually double with the harp, and then underneath maybe the trumpet and the whole thing.
That's right. And then you you got the mix and the editing where you can pan and you can do the effects.
Yeah.
Then
So
that adds another different element, and then
Yeah,
adds
yeah.
another 4.5 months to the project.
so by the end, yeah, you
By
are.
the end, you got
it's
your
been
deadline's
too-
blown out. You're waiting for this thing from God to come and shine a light on you. With
I know.
this massive thing saying, here it is on a silver platter. Just take it out there. That doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
Oh god.
Then it's mastering, and you think, oh my God, another 4.5 months. But
It's like
the
you,
process.
it's like you've been talking. How's the album? And it's like
Yeah.
4 years. No,
Yeah.
it's coming
Yeah,
along.
it's coming along. It's coming along. Yeah. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
And I
How's the
thought,
album? Yeah.
yeah, and I thought with this album, I knuckled down because it was like 2 years. And I thought last year, and this is why I stopped the podcast as well. I thought last 3 months of last year, last 2 months, I thought I need to really lay down everything, all the tracks, bang, bang. And then I'll do the mix down and mastering, whatever. But I wasn't even that stage where I was happy with the layered stuff. So, and I had to just put myself deadlines.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. You like it, you don't like it. You know what? It's there. Play with what you got. Just see what you can do with what you have, because it elongates.
Yeah.
You know?
Infinite.
And I guess that was the difference in the if you were with a record label in the
label, yeah.
past, and then you have to produce 10 albums per year.
Ooh.
Then sometimes, because that's why you see all these random, especially in the jazz sort of. I say, look, I need to make an album this month. So just call this. All right, we're just going to the studio. We don't know what we're gonna play, and then that's it.
Yep.
It's just a tick box for the label.
Yeah.
And then
But it's a good thing because you're in a label and you're getting paid or whatever, if you're getting.
Yeah.
But on the other side, the creativity is going a bit downwards, and
Could be full
I've-
forced.
Yeah, I've heard of people having nervous breakdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because they
produce-
couldn't. Because of the.
can't-
Because it's
Meet the
hard to
deadline.
force art in a way. Like
Yeah,
you
of
need to let
course.
it
On a
breathe.
deadline,
and-
gosh.
Yeah,
Like
I-
on
Yeah.
such a short deadline. I mean, we can create deadlines, but
Yeah.
like a month.
Yeah.
Or,
Can you
yeah.
imagine going into a studio saying, "All right, I'm like, you have an
1
agreement.
month.
I'll
In
just
3
call it
months, you
one
need-
note album.
The one note album. I like that.
Pedal.
E minor
Pedal
or
note.
one chord.
3 months, you have to release 2 EPs.
No.
Not albums, but EPs.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's like, and that's straight
Two
away.
covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's great if you're in a really good sort of composition or
Mm.
creativity period.
You're in the flow, yeah.
But sometimes it's like nothing's coming in.
Yeah.
It's like,
But this is why, and this is why the bigger companies, they get
Yeah.
the session musicians coming. Not only are they session musicians, but they're going to give you ideas.
Mm.
And these session musicians do this full time.
Yeah.
you know?
yeah, of course.
So they're used
Yeah.
to the process. They're used
Yeah.
to, they give you something, how about something with this? And then you work on that. And these are those people that are, not everyone's like that, but these people are going to give you that sort of creative boost, and you think,
Mm.
that sounds
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then you
totally.
work on that. So if you're lucky
Yeah.
enough to have that, I think, that's where you'll probably be able to meet sort of deadlines. But if you're working by yourself and you're, in solitude and working in front of the PC for 7-8 hours a day, and you don't know what day it is, you don't know whether it's day or night. I think then you need to like switch off a little bit and say, all right, I need to just stop. Like my wife, I was in front of when I was doing the album, it was non-stop, bang, bang, bang. She goes, today, don't think about anything. Wake up in the morning, go and do your thing, meditate or whatever you're gonna do, and don't go into the studio. Don't do anything.
Yeah. That reminder to take a break and give it some space.
Yeah. And then I went back to the recording day after, and it was all shit.
You have a different mindset looking
different
at
mindset,
it.
so-
Yeah.
But that's a process, and I think you have to enjoy the process.
Yeah, so sometimes, I guess that's what having that kind of live versus multi-tracking.
Yeah,
It's a good,
breaks up your mindset a little bit.
Yeah, and also the space. Yeah, I mean, everything affects, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, every day is just so different to the other one.
When you're playing an instrument, I'm going to give an example, right? All right, we'll talk about the trumpet. But when you're arranging, what instrument do you have in your hands when you're arranging, when you're creating music? What's the first thing you go to?
Piano.
The piano.
Yeah, that's how, because I was actually against, but I'm a big advocate for the piano.
Yeah.
When
You
it
got
comes
the
to
range.
Yeah, and also because I'm not a piano player. So when I'm creating melodies, or if I can play them on the piano, everyone else can play it in the band. So that's my also. If I can play this and then I'm not a really skillful piano, I have some idea that maybe the bass player or the harp, you can kind of, they're not gonna struggle with it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, with Perolas, I know them so well. So now I'm already
what to write for. And Fabian's actually great. He's written many pieces for harp now, but based off piano. And I've just had to adapt them ever so slightly for the changes. Yeah, actually, I'd love to talk to just those ideas of including harp in compositions. There's a lot of people who kind of think of how to include it, how to write for it, how to record for it. Yeah, it's just a not common thing, but it's just like writing for piano. I think we spoke about that, and if you have the extension of like an electroacoustic harp, you can record it in many diverse ways. So obviously you can have mics around it. You can have a direct pickup output. You can put it through an amp. You can even, what we found is like a really cool technique when recording is reamping. So you record the clean signal of the harp, and I love to like saturate the sound with effects pedals. Sometimes it's overkill because it kind of can take away from the purity of the sound, but this reamping, so you have the clean signal, and then you can actually, because your hands are busy when you're recording, you don't have the leverage to like maneuver pedals. But you can actually print the effects on the harp, and then use both like a clean and an affected channel. We've been doing a lot of that in our
for sound design,
which
is it's kind of like the guitarists, they were pretty familiar with reamp. But it's mainly, and also I encourage when I'm producing also, I try to do it with the artists there as well. You do it. Like why producer have to let me put the
put the touch.
No, you do it. It's your thing. You might know a level that I don't know. Because you have a image in your head. So then I can reamp and say, well, let's maybe set the section of the vocals, because you can reamp anything. So I found that really a useful technique. Just I'm actually as a producer as well, I'm really kind of if you're not talking, it's like great, because like I won't really understand the person, like I'm here just to I'm a tool, but I'm not there just
bring
to
the vision.
Put we should put guitar solos or trumpet solos, it's your thing. So
that's you're giving them freedom.
And also goes like, and then if they feel comfortable, that freedom can expand, I guess, in the moment. So,
but that's where the beauty is. That's where they produce. That's where the magic is. It's like if you let them just do what you feel, just do whatever you feel comfortable with. And if that doesn't sound good, well, we'll try something else. But if you go at them saying, "Oh, this is what it is. This is the structure. Bang, bang, bang. This is what I want you to play here. What you play here." Even in my structure of songs, like when I record, if I want someone to come in, I don't really want to give them what to play. Come in, have a listen. What do you think?
Of course.
And that's in my songs. But if you're producing and you're producing for someone else, it's a different story. They've got their own little fantasy in their head.
And then
some people can't portray that. It's hard for them. You just need to give them a little bit of the push and get them on that.
So I feel like in that way, all journey, like exploring those stuff, it has sort of inspire other people,
to think, to listen and be like, oh, that's a cool element. How could I include that in my track? Or
So, and I think pushing yourself and pushing the boundaries. Like I've got a few recording projects now happening, and I'm constantly pushing myself of how am I going to make this sound different? What genres first do I like, and what genres am I familiar with? Because at the moment I'm fusing genres. Genres. But for me to fuse genres, I've got a thing in my head where I have to know each genre, need to know the fundamentals of each genre that I'm fusing, right? And I need to know where the genre comes from and why. So once I know that, and then I can adapt, because I don't want it to sound like one genre and the other genre sticky tape together.
Yeah.
It needs to interleave.
Blend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm working on now, and I'm actually quite enjoying it, because I used to be very strict on what I play. I'm just going to play this and that's it, years ago, which was probably a mistake. But I'm so open. I've opened up my mind in a way where, you know what, there shouldn't be any boundaries. If it's something that you want to do, have a crack, see what it's like.
Yeah,
know?
of course. Yeah.
If it sounds we're not quite there, see if you can make it sound quite there. And if you can't, don't waste your time. Put your creative, effort somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like creativity is a massive thing I try, because I teach at the primary schools as well, kids music, and for me it's not about, because at that age, maybe you can sort of like one or two, then you can say, clearly they're gonna play piano, or they're gonna dedicate themselves. But for me, it's more like that kind of interaction of creativity, with what they do in just daily stuff, in the way that we think, the day that, I don't know, we go for a walk and say, you know what, you're just gonna go for here. I want to explore a new street.
Yeah.
So I practice creativity daily in everything that I do: kitchen, cooking, washing dishes. I don't know, whatever, like going in the daily. I want to do
something in the moment. That's what's happening.
Yeah. And for me, all that is like, when it comes to the kind of composition, then I say, I can try this. I'm kind of comfortable just of being uncomfortable, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the
great.
Thing. Yeah. And I feel like we all should explore that. And I talk to that to a lot of people. It's not about, I never play an instrument, or I say, well, it's not about, because you're thinking, I'm going to play guitar. And then you think, I have to be like Jimmy Page. No, it's about you exploring that creativity. That
so true.
It kind of is going to help in other sides or in other areas in your daily, stuff that you do in your life.
And you don't need much to do it. You don't need like a 47 stringed instrumental. You can do it with, what was that guy doing it with his mouth?
I forget this, like Amazonian or African sort of, they just pedal note and then they will do this. We all have seen the video there. It's kind of like
I think I have.
Like
using the body.
It gives you one note, but he responds. And then, so it's kind of like in the offbeat.
Just using his
body.
body.
Little flute.
But he's got rhythm, man. He's got compass.
He got rhythm, and then it's amazing what the video,
But
you have to look at this video.
You're right in saying that, and especially with kids. You teach at primary, right?
Yeah.
It's so much. I think it's so very important for kids to learn music. They don't need to be a musician. They don't need to end up playing, as you said, a complex instrument. It's not about that. It's getting them used to the creativity. It'll getting them used to what's possible in their head.
Yeah.
And I know with my kids, when my daughter wanted to start learning piano, so I started teaching a little bit of piano. She absorbed everything and she learned straight away. And then she started having a different approach to other things that she's learning at school.
Yes, it applies. Like music is one of those skills that creates like new neural networks in the brain across the brain, like as a whole.
Yeah.
I studied music therapy at Melbourne Uni, and we did lots of lectures on psychology and neuroscience.
We were talking about music therapy.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
weeks ago.
It's like it's the only activity in the world that engages all parts of the brain. So from your left side,
cortex and
it actually it connects. It builds pathways. So for a developing brain like a child, it's incredible. It's like fuel, And then they, it's known, I think there's been some studies where it's known to also like enhance their math skills and their language skills and through music.
It's a different approach. They have different approaches. That's actually, it's quite true. And I see it in my kids, it's like, if there was a problem to be solved within their schoolwork or something like that, it's like it's funny. I used to help them when they were younger. I don't help them anymore. But ever since they started learning an instrument, or learning, my son's playing guitar now and he's getting quite good at it. But even he started a bit later, right?
Yeah.
But I think now it's sort of like it's it's sort of like boosted his capacity, and he's doing year 11. So now he sort of like needs it. So I don't have to be there to guide him as much.
Yeah.
You know? Kids being kids, they're gonna wanna, you know, not do their homework and stuff like that.
For sure.
But it does help them with that way of approaching problematic issues. You know?
Yeah, problem solving.
Yeah.
It engages I mean, how much do we have to problem solve in music? A lot.
Yeah. But you know what? We do it instinctively.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? Or when you're writing music and you're arranging your own notation, it's there. But when you're thinking on the fly, especially playing live, you if something happens and you're doing an improv and you make a mistake, how do I solve this problem?
Yeah.
I've gone either out of I've gone out of the progression, I've gone out of rhythm. How the hell do I go back in? Yeah. So it's very much problem solving off the bat, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And that's the beauty of it. You know?
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, that's how you grow, right? It's not not just with music, like you were saying, in everyday life, just bringing that problem solving to everything you're doing. And even I did a gig the other day and I didn't know the songs well enough. And I'd had a bit too much to drink beforehand. And it was quite fascinating. I wasn't present, but my muscle memory kicked in, and then I just relaxed into it and let the muscle memory play the notes for me.
Yeah, nice.
And it worked out. But you know, I learned from that. Have water before the gig, don't. But it's still problem solving. It's that awareness as well. Coming back to there was that awareness. I felt myself drifting off, but I was accompanying dancers, so I couldn't drift off in that moment. And
I know what that feels like.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, you do. You know all about that. I want to shift the topic slightly.
Go for it.
I really want to know from both of you what brought you into the world of music. Like, what was that defining moment for both of you, even within your instruments too? It could just be how you got into the world of music. I don't know who wants to kick that off.
Way back from that.
I think I always I knew it really young age. I'm the only musician in my entire family, both sides.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so no one else. I didn't grow up with a piano, guitar, but my dad was really. He still is really into music and different genres. So.
But even that makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes so I grew up just listening, I don't know, Mal Davis and then some kind of African. Yeah. No, he hates it actually. That's I told him actually, I spoke to him. I said, no, I'm playing for the 18, like the main Chilean fest. I said, what?
Doesn't sound like you.
I said, well, yeah. But yeah, there was always like different vinyls, you know, like from everything. So I guess, because I always like, I struggle to sort of see myself, I know I'm just rock. I always like different flavors since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, for example, there was like Jimmy Page, and then there was Ryuichi Sakamoto, you know, from Japan. That was way different. But that was in my house, just listening from young age. So I guess that's what it was. And then I grabbed the guitar because I guess it was an accessible sort of instrument. And then I was just I was a bit addictive. I was just playing lots
Fabian's dad said he was like.
He thought I was.
There's definitely some spectrum things here.
He thought that
he was like playing obsessively till 5 a.m.
He was on the spectrum. I think we're all on the spectrum.
And then,
sure.
but I remember being in a really good growing up. A lot of my friends they play guitar, and at that time in Santiago, in Chile, there was this like kind of boom of guitarists. And then I was lucky enough, I got into the sponsor by Ibanez.
Oh wow, that's
when
cool.
I was 18,
Yeah.
And then I was in the whole guitarist world. So and then I met all the guitarists like Paul Gilbert and Marty Friedman.
Really?
Because they used to go there through. So a really young age.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say Brazil has a massive thrash metal scene.
Yeah, Kiko Loureiro. I met all of them. Yeah.
Kiko as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because I was on that wall, and then but then. It wasn't what I wanted. I guess for me, I was seeing the big picture of music, you know, like just.
But you were finding your way.
I was finding the way, I guess, I mean, that world brought me the whole technique, which is like, I'm pretty grateful.
Yeah.
But then I went to study in Brazil, and it was like, everything just my destroy. Yeah, because it was rhythm. That's what I.
Yes.
That's what I met. I met rhythm, and that destroy everything. Yeah.
Well, I was actually a bit the opposite. I actually was grown up in rhythm,
Yeah.
all sorts of rhythm.
Oh, your dad was a.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was a musician, but
All right.
I was brought up with all these different time signatures and everything, and that wasn't a problem for me.
Yeah.
Then going to Spain to study, I had that down pat, and that helped me a lot. But I was the opposite of you.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing all these other sort of techniques and everything,
Yeah.
it was a bit on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and then
What
yeah.
about you?
For me,
Yeah.
I was just gonna on the side note. Every time we go to Chile, Fabian is greeted like a really big name in Chile as a guitarist.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, yeah.
Do you
feel like I'm
use it to
walking
your
around with a
advantage?
famous person.
No,
Get some
no.
free meals.
I mean, no. Yeah,
Free show bags
just
from
free
their
completos.
version of opera. But yeah, you want to say something?
No, that was part. I mean, that's such a long time. It feels like another life now. But
He's got some YouTube videos absolutely
Yeah.
slaying the shredded solos.
yeah, no, but it was great. That gave me also. I got to know a lot of really good people. Some of them that are now really big names, like doing producing or they're in Mexico. Yeah,
Mm.
so that was great.
And yeah, going back to how music, I also like what Fab said at the very beginning. It's like I knew. It's just something
Yeah.
I always gravitated towards, and then things just slowly opened up over time. I started when I was 7. I mean, I'm a Leo, so I love the limelight. I relish in it. So I started off with singing, theatre and dance. In Brunswick, I was doing that Saturdays for my entire childhood pretty much. And then started singing, loved singing in school. I think when I was 6, I wrote, what do you want to be? And I said a singer.
Oh,
So
yeah.
vocals was my first thing. And I guess I grew up in an Italian culture. So music was always around music and dance for pleasure and enjoyment. And so a lot of my first gigs were playing in front of the family and as a way of
Still.
and then we still get asked
Yeah.
by family. We're doing a 60th next month. My auntie. And yeah, actually my family was a huge influence. They were all kind of, it's funny because I go back to Italy and they're like, your whole family is full of artists, but just their way of not famous artists, just as they are.
They are.
Well,
Come on,
although,
you
yeah.
have to.
No, actually, I'll acknowledge that. Yeah,
Yeah.
my nonna's sister and her husband were the first ever Italian band in Australia back in the 50s.
Oh,
And their
goodness.
son was Virgil Donati, the drummer.
Really? Virgil's
Yeah,
parents?
Virgil's
Virgil.
parents. So he's my second cousin.
Virgil's your second.
Yeah. And he moved to LA when he was 19, so
Yeah.
we didn't have too much of an interface growing up, but I always knew man, he's a
Outstanding.
beast of a drummer and
Yeah.
yeah. So and in later in life, I was able to see him tour in Mexico, do the jazz festival in Mexico. He took me backstage. I met Chicoria.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
And we went to it was incredible. At the time, I actually didn't really know who the jazz scene much and how who I was in the presence of really.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, that's the guy. Okay. So yeah, through him later in life, I guess I've connected and he's doing amazing things. I'm really inspired by him, but it's this family lineage, sharing of music and then I came to the harp. Before the harp, I was, my sister stopped learning the piano. So I took the piano from her room and then started playing. So I was self-taught in piano, but used it as a songwriting tool. I loved writing songs since the age of 12, even earlier, just to express, what was going on and as a
As a therapy
refuge. Yeah, a
Therapy
refuge,
tool.
exactly.
Mm.
My parents, it was a small house. Everyone was really loud. And so I'd retreat back to my room and write
Yeah.
songs and then I came to the harp at 22, about 10 years ago. I'm 33 now, because I had a psychedelic trip, and I took a substance called DMT, and that led me to allow the harp to come into my life very random.
That's so.
That's a very
It is-
We've been talking about taking some mushrooms, yeah? we talked about it, me and you, microdosing ourselves and seeing what happens.
I have yet to do it.
Yeah, so
It takes a
haven't,
bit of
haven't had the courage yet.
I'm up
yeah.
there.
It
That's a
really,
good thing.
it was a young, it was a stupid thing to do. Like in my friend's garage, he's like, "Do you want to try it?" And I'm like, I had no expectations, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like it's a plant. And I literally at the end of it, I heard like there was no music in the room, but I heard like 60 harps.
Really?
Twinkling.
Wow.
And so then like it's literally after that moment, everything like aligned to where I am now with like the opportunities, because it is like a niche.
Yeah.
The opportunities it's like created in my life has been beyond like
And then you
what
drop
I've ever
70
thought.
grand on a harp.
Pretty much.
Then
And I
then
don't own a
was-
house, but I own a harp.
Then I was broke.
Kind of thing.
The harp is your home.
I can live in it.
Yeah.
But that's what a great story. What a great story.
Wow,
Yeah,
both
it's a
of
great
you.
story. Yeah.
I'm in shock
Yeah.
from both of your stories. Like it's
Yeah.
so
Mine
cool.
doesn't involve any psychedelic trip, but
No, but just how at 18 just both of you have had like really cool.
Yeah,
Did
it's,
you have a podcast?
Yeah, you learn so
You
much
learn.
about
yeah. But it's great. I mean, because also you encounter, probably all of us, we have encountered them people that they're doing something, but they always say, whatever, I do this for money, and then I just worry. I just want to get to the weekend so I can enjoy myself. And I said, wow, I have no idea how you can just lie to yourself, because
Yeah.
you need to be somewhere else.
They're not aware though.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
people, they're not aware. They don't know that they're lying to them.
But
Yeah.
then some, I
Yeah.
get that where they say, yeah, because you I mean, you know what you want. You're a musician. I say, yeah, but and then I say, wow, yeah, I have no idea how it's not to know what you want, because I always had that kind of poof, like
you just both of you
yeah,
already
Yeah,
had
it's
that.
knowing.
It was super
Yeah.
clear.
And no matter
Yeah.
if you try and run away from it, you can't, because
Yeah.
it's like you're a magnet to music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's so
Experience
true.
that.
I actually
Yeah.
left the guitar for about a year and a half.
Mm.
But the guitar didn't leave me. So
No, clearly not.
So I came back. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a form of oxygen.
Yeah, it
You
is.
can't live without it.
No.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Music is a beautiful thing, and I think the more you play, the more you do, the more you become an entity into yourself. And it's about
Yeah.
that growing and making yourself happy. You just feel
Yeah.
happy, when you do things.
Yes.
You think, there's not a lot of people who can do this, so you feel grateful at the same time as well.
It's a privileged
Yeah.
position,
You
isn't
you
it?
have no
Oh
money.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you have no money, but you're happy. You're doing something. You've given your last dollar to buy an instrument. You got no bread. You got no water. You got no nothing. But
You got me goring.
It's soul food.
It's soul food.
What's our language?
It's feeding the soul.
It's how we communicate.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm
You
better
have
at
the
playing
latest,
than
yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
You have the latest Pro Tool, the latest
yeah,
plugins.
things, but you haven't got you haven't got
Toilet
dollar to your
paper.
name. But,
You haven't got toilet paper.
yeah,
Gosh.
exactly.
You haven't done your tax in 10 years.
I know. Yeah, and you got the landlord knocking on your door, but that's a different story.
Different podcast.
Yeah, look, I think without that though, that's also part of your life, right? They're all experiences, and people write pretty good songs about all that stuff. So
Yeah.
they become
Out
quite
of the
popular.
hardship.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
that's what I love. I love like watching actors.
Actors have got it worse than us.
Yeah, but I feel like they're kind of similar stories. But some of the stories, I've always been really fascinated with acting. How can someone just take that role and then become someone else?
That's a
Yeah.
talent too.
Yeah.
Like it's an artistic ability.
Mm.
Yeah,
And they've got their own levels too. Like we have your musician levels. You got your hobbyists, your amateurs, your pros and stuff. They've got the same, and you can see it, right?
yeah,
But then they've got those people that are they've just got it. They can just click into a role, and they probably got some sort of multiple personality disorder. But that probably works in their advantage because
Yeah.
they can click in.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
when you go on stage,
yeah,
you
yeah.
click into a different.
Yeah, and then
And maybe
they-
because they've been there, like they've been in that, you
Yeah.
know, state or that
Yeah,
you know
but
that
even-
the role requires. So,
Yeah.
Well, a few
It's
of them
for
I know.
training.
I know, like what was it, Jamie Foxx? You know, like to play the role of Ray, like he put himself in Ray's shoes,
Yeah.
Ray Charles' shoes, like
Yeah.
to experience what it was like to be blind.
He was
Wow, so he
actually living blind.
Yeah, he was living-
I didn't-
living
wow.
blind. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah,
why
they
I haven't
take
seen the
the-
film yet, but
No, it's great. Yeah, he
That's
won like
incredible.
but
we'll have to see
they take the
Can't
road
notice
to the
difference
next.
you can't notice the difference between him and Ray. It's,
Yeah.
Wowza.
it's uncanny.
But I
he
tell
actually
you,
sings and plays as well. in
yeah,
the
yeah.
film. So,
But I take that kind of like stories and then I try to apply it to other things, you know. Like I
course.
even if I don't, for me, I don't care. Like the gig, if I'm playing, I don't know, like open studio versus a recital center, you know.
Yeah.
Like for me, I want to be everything that we talk like super just focused. I want to enjoy myself, and I'm here to deliver it.
Yep.
Because I've been practicing for this, and I want to also see, you know, what comes up, you know, and then
yeah.
so I'm all the time thinking, because you don't know. I feel like maybe the mind space with if you are there and then can be, I don't know, you're in the Grammys, you know, and then what
Yeah.
you gonna do? You're just gonna maybe all those gigs say, no, whatever, it's just a gig. No, because you need to train, and then when it comes the opportunity, you're gonna say, you know what, I know exactly what to do.
Yeah. It's the mindset.
It's the mindset, and for me, I'm such a again rituals like it's. Yeah, I honor every space. I'm in that kind of. I need to play. I need to delivery. I want to, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah, I really love that about you. It's like the
and I feel like
ability it's not
that's-
just a gig. It's
Mm.
not just a
I
corporate
never.
gig, it's
I
not
never
just
say
a-
I just a gig, whatever. No, I'm say well. I mean, if you treated that, if you, the one that are on the stage, are treated it like that way, what are you expecting then? People there,
Exactly.
The
So
audience.
true. So true.
Yeah.
So true. Because the audience are there, whether they're they're on purpose there to see you, or you're playing a gig where, you know, just people happen to be there. You gotta give them something. They've got to come away with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never
Yeah.
know. Like, I mean, I've been sometimes on on a random gig on a Monday night, and then I don't know. I paid
Yeah,
my
you never
ticket. I
know
went
what
there,
can-
you know, like, and then if the musician is like, whatever, you know, it's like, well, I don't know. I
It's
feel
like,
like
what is it?
this kind of like,
Mm.
well, you don't. I took it seriously just to come here and sit
Yeah.
down myself. So why you're not doing the same? I don't get it.
So true. Like I used to do a lot of corporate gigs, and in the
Mm.
corporate gigs, you're in the background in the corner,
Yeah.
right? Well paying gigs. But I used to treat it as a gig, as a show. It doesn't matter, because that one person that's going to come up to you and say,
Yeah.
really like what you're doing, they're the ones that have been watching you
Yeah.
all night.
They're the
So
ones.
even if it's
There's-
one person, you've been
There's a
performing to one
musical ear,
person.
isn't there? Always
Yeah.
I'm a
around.
bigger.
So you
yeah.
need to give your all.
I'm a
Yeah.
gig, and,
That's so
and,
true.
and we do also sometimes. Yeah, I mean, we all do corporate gigs, and then I'm the same. I'm all the time. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's so
person
true,
might
you
be
never know.
there, and
Yeah.
he might know maybe someone that is organizing a festival. Boom.
Yep.
But you're also out there, you're playing music.
Yeah. So you don't wanna.
Enjoy
Yeah.
it. You're
Yeah.
playing, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
You're doing
Yeah.
your thing out there, and you're out there in front of people doing your thing, and you're not at home in front of the TV doing your thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
That's true.
yeah,
Respect
yeah,
the
enjoy it.
opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But you
'cause
got to enjoy every second, every moment, and with the people that you're with as well. If you're playing in a band, you got to enjoy the whole thing end to end. Sometimes you overlook that and you think, oh, you just want to get the gig over and done with, and you think, oh, you know, you want everything to go 100% and everything to go right, and then you overlook some things, and you think, oh, you know what? Hang on, let's bring it back a little bit. We're here. Let's enjoy it. You know.
Yeah.
And that's, I think we've all overlooked it at one point. Right?
Yeah.
Or
Of
another.
course, it's a practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure
Next
is.
part of
Sure
your
is.
yeah.
Yeah. Just quickly wanted to mention our sponsors, Cake Eclipse, for these wonderful cakes. They've been wonderful.
Yeah.
She's been always giving us sweets and everything like that. And yeah, indulge and enjoy.
Would you like to plug any upcoming
Yeah.
shows or
absolutely.
so we'll probably release this in a
Not
2
next
weeks.
the week after,
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
after the 23rd, I guess.
Okay.
So it will be
So we've got
recital center.
the Melbourne Recital Centre on the 3rd
Yes.
of November.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Now
Such
quartet.
a, yeah. We have played there. It's, wow, such a beautiful room. The sound is incredible. On
And the team,
Prim,
you feel so well looked after there by everyone,
It's
the
a
staff,
professional
and
venue though.
I
Yeah.
know,
3rd of
it's
November?
beautiful. The 3rd of
Yeah.
November in the
Primrose, yeah.
Potter Salon, which is the beautiful, acoustically gorgeous venue.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only yourselves, or is it there with someone else, or is it
Bass and
quartet,
drums.
yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
quartet.
quartet, yeah.
Perolas quartet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then, so that's going to be a big one. And then,
And
and
tickets
then-
are available on our
yes.
website at perolasmusic.com.
in the Rosado Center, they have a pretty good, you can
We'll
find
pop the
them.
links up as well.
Yeah.
We'll-
Yes.
Thank you.
we'll do
Might have
all
to
that.
get a ticket. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Definitely.
amazing.
Yeah, no, that's one of, it's an experience also for the audience because like you're sitting down.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing,
Yeah.
you know, you grab your glass of wine and then.
And we have our EP,
Yeah.
the live 5-track EP that we released a couple of months ago in hard copy CD form that we can sell on the night, which will
Merch,
be
get the merch
nice.
ready.
Get the merch happening.
Yeah.
The t-shirt.
There we go.
Love the shirt. Love
Love
it.
Give it a plug.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I have to do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Should do something like that. We should do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. If
I
I want to
was
wear my
there for
name
your
on a
project.
shirt.
I'm
I mean, that's
I'll
great.
give you my name. You can be my
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
on
sure.
yours.
Yeah.
Pop a
We're on the
violin
back.
on it.
You know? We
Yeah.
used to walk down Burke Street a few times.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Publicity.
But look, thanks guys. Thanks so
Thank
much
no,
you.
thanks.
for coming
Yeah,
on.
lovely to chat to you.
Great chat, and we
Yeah.
wish you guys all the very best.
Thank
you.
And yeah, in everything that you guys do, it's been wonderful to have you guys on. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys
Thanks,
so much.
yeah. Thank you,
Thanks for
Ambla.
coming.
Till next time. Ciao.
Ciao.
The Strike A Chord Podcast, presented to you by valentineflamenco.com and amlamusic.com.